Hey everyone, welcome to my channel as a married man. I want to thank you all for tuning it in and checking it out. It is here where we talk about love, life, relationships, and more, all from the perspective of a married man. So please everyone, if you can hit that like button and definitely subscribe to the channel. I totally appreciate it. So today's video, guys, it's from YouTube, and it's actually from a fellow YouTuber, and her name is Kelly Love. Her video, I guess it's a TikTok clip she uploaded. It's just a short little 3-minute video, but it came across my recommended video feed, and I was kind of intrigued by it. I watched it once and I watched it twice. um, it was interesting. So, I thought I'd give it a proper analysis. The video in question from Kelly Love, it is titled "Let the Men Fall," and I'm actually gonna play the video and kind of react to it as it goes. Giving my opinion as a married man and as a man in general. So, before I begin, I thought I'd give props to Kelly herself, to her channel. I'll definitely post the link to the video to Kelly Love's channel. I just wanted to give her props. So go ahead, everyone. Once you're done, head over there, check her out, and see it for yourself. So, once again, real quick, I'm going to be playing Kelly's video. And once again, it's titled Let the Men Fall. So I'll be starting and stopping the video a little bit, giving my opinion and some clarification. And, once the video's finished, I'll give my full thoughts, as a married man. So here we go with the video, guys. Videos overall. I'll give my full thoughts on it as a married man. All right, so here we go.
I'm getting a little worn out with this story of how much we need to take care of men right now as they're going through their transition.
So she states here as they transition, and I was a little confused. So I actually looked through the comments, and the best I could figure out is that Kelly is talking about women and men, like rebalancing things and no longer accepting the patriarchal way. I'm, yeah, still a little confused, but let's continue.
It sounds very much like a smothering mother who's not allowing her child the spaciousness they need to explore, fall down, and get back up. And ladies, I'm gonna invite you to let these men fall. Let them have their tower moment of destruction.
So Kelly talks about letting men have their tower moment. And like once again, I wasn't sure what she meant. So I went to the comments again, and she kind of explains it. The tower moment is basically the work that a man has made, like everything he's built, his tower. The tower moment is basically his like apex of success that comes crashing down, and he needs to start all over again. At least I think.
Because women have been born, bred, and raised in fire, in destruction, in war zones. We have had to fight for every single part of who we are, and we needed to because we had forfeited our power a long time ago.
So she talks about women being born into fire, like war zones and destruction, etc. Having to fight for every single thing, every part of who they are, because they needed to. Like, yeah, I can agree somewhat to that. Like, women haven't always been seen as equals. Women have had to fight for equality. However, the last bit where she states, like, because we forfeited our power, like, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but like, it's not that women forfeited their power. They just like never had the power to begin with, in my opinion.
So we also had to have our tower moment of what it looks like to hand over our power to someone else and say, you do what I'm supposed to be doing. So now we're coming back into accepting what we came here for after millennia of persecution and destruction. And now we get to let men do the same thing. They've got to experience all the shit of dysfunction and distortion and misalignment before they will truly ask for help. Because if you try to rescue them now, if you try to make them feel comfortable in their transition now, they may never transition. They may never actually spread their wings and fly.
I, I think what she's stating is that women, have had it rough, and now is our time, and men are experiencing this oppression, I guess. But basically, now is our time, and the roles have been reversed. I think is what she's saying. Except her advice here is like men need to experience hardship and to let them. The transition stuff, I think she's referring to the like patriarchy and like men losing their power over women and kind of taking their back seat, like I think anyways.
And let's be honest, ladies, we don't respect a man that we are so much stronger than spiritually, emotionally, mentally.
Yeah, oof. Kelly drops a truth bomb right here. Women, they do not respect men who they are stronger than, like spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Women don't respect weak men. Like that's real talk from Kelly right there.
And we certainly don't respect a man who uses his physical strength to dominate all of the other areas of life, to say, I'm the leader because I'm physically strong and I can bully you into submission. Bro, that's the old form that's dying.
So Kelly goes from dropping truth about women not respecting weak men, and she goes on to state women don't respect strong men who use their physical strength to dominate areas of life. Yeah, as a married man, and as a man in general, I totally disagree with that. Like women do respect strong men, physically, mentally, etc., etc. And like all men know, at least red pill guys, we know that women seek out strong men, and they definitely respect them for it. So this part is like to me a little confusing.
And so, as men are learning to rise to that standard, they need to have their tower moments over and over again. Let them fall, let them pick themselves up, let them learn how to nourish themselves into wholeness. Because this is where we went wrong in the last go round. That's how we messed up.
So Kelly mentions the new standard. Like I think she's talking about like the softer, gentler man, or the one who isn't weak, the one she doesn't respect for being weak, but then isn't strong. I think. Basically, yeah, I think she's talking about like the more feminized man here. I think.
And this is part of the resensitization process for men. How are they going to appropriately protect and provide for humanity when they ain't even connected to the heart and soul of humanity, right? They must learn to go through this and have these tower moments and nourish themselves and be resensitized, because this is how they become sensitive to the needs of the community that they serve and actually provide the things that they need.
So the resensitization process for men is what Kelly talks about here. And yeah, I think I'm starting to understand her mindset, like what she's getting at. The patriarchy type of man is the one who has dominated over women and are in need of replacement pretty much. And their replacements are these new enlightened feminized type of men who are in touch with humanity, and instead of domination, like the patriarchal type of mindset man, you know, these new feminized, in touch type of men, that need to, connect with humanity and whatnot, in order to protect and obey and whatnot. They're going to be the replacements for these oafish patriarchal type of guys that currently are dominating society.
And reality check for the ladies, your codependency pattern of putting someone else's needs before your own, sacrificing yourself for them, that's the patriarchy.
All right, so ladies, putting the needs of others before yourself, your codependency pattern is the patriarchy. I I have no comment yet.
Because the true law of nature is a law of reciprocity. What you put in, you must be getting something out. So let these men fall. They've got to learn to put in the right energy that they need to succeed. We do ourselves a disservice by doing it for them.
So Kelly mentions reciprocity, and I actually agree with that. Like as a man, and yeah, as a married man as well, like every relationship is give and take. You should be taking as much as you're giving, like, so to speak. No relationship should be one way. You rely on each other for love and support and everything. So relationships, as far as give and take, it should be equal. So I actually agree with her there, on the reciprocity aspect. Relationship should not be one-sided at all, ever. So she does make a fair point there, believe it or not. All right, so that was Kelly Love's video on Let the Men Fall. And so, what are my thoughts on it as a married man? Well, to start, the title does sound a little ominous, but as I listened to what she was saying, I kind of began to understand what she was getting at. Um, like to start back from the beginning, though. Kelly started out by talking about men going through their transition, and that was confusing. Like I didn't understand what she was trying to get at. And even people in the comments were asking, like, what do you mean by that? But as far as I understand, and I might be wrong, but what she was trying to say was, men transitioning from their role in this patriarchal alpha male type of society that we live in. They're transitioning to this more, feminized version of themselves. But she does go on to talk about men having these tower moments. And from what I understood about that, these tower moments are times when men build themselves up, like to their peak, and then fall down. So, they're working to achieve something and then kind of fail at it. I've kind of uh, come to understand, I think what she's talking about is more like on an emotional or spiritual level. Um, I think. But, anywhere I look at it, however, this advice she's giving, especially as a married man, it's hard to agree with that. Like, I understand learning through failure, but, being married, having a wife and a partner, if I have a partner who's watching me fail, who's letting me fail, that's totally a negative right there. Um, and she goes on to state, yeah, how women are born in fire and in war zones, and how bad women have it, and how they've always had to fight for everything. And, to a degree, yes, I do agree with what she's saying. But as far as the male female power dynamic, no offense to the women out there who are listening, but like, throughout history, women have never had any real power to begin with, institutionally and whatnot. And I'm not in any way saying that women don't deserve power, or equal rights or anything like that at all. But throughout history, women have always been subservient to men. Like, for example, I was listening to Jordan Peterson a few days ago, for those of you who are familiar with him. And the issue of the patriarchy actually came up. And, Jordan stated that modern women, have more rights now than any time in history, like to a degree where they are surpassing men in some areas. Yeah, depending, like, as far as pay or the representation, like in some areas, in some fields, like women, as far as pay or just the amount of women in that, job, uh, they're actually surpassing men. And like graduation rates, like I can go on and on. Like, there are many areas where women are surpassing men, and women have never had it better now than they have any time throughout history. Like, however, like going back to the past, like women have kind of learned to, when times are bad, when things get hard, they've come to understand that it's beneficial to team up with men, to make it through those hard times. Um, but going back to Kelly's video, like, she almost makes it sound like it's a contest, like who gets to be in charge, who is subservient to who, and like it almost sounds like what Kelly is getting at. And the time of women is now, and as far as men, it's time to take a back seat. Like, she almost makes it sound like it's a competition between the two genders. And that honestly sounds like a terrible thought process. In my opinion, like, life between men and women, it's not a contest, and it's not about who's in charge. But I did, as the video continued, I did find it funny that, you know, like Kelly drops like a huge truth bomb in the middle of her video. Like, she does mention how women don't respect weak men, yeah, especially when they're like stronger than them, mentally and emotionally. And yeah, all of a sudden you go on a few more minutes into the video, and she's talking about, well, we also don't respect men who use their physical strength to dominate. It's like, actually, women kind of do. Like, it's a well-known fact in the manosphere amongst, the red-pilled men and the MTOW, and, just men who aren't in that beta position. Like, women don't respect weak men. That's true. These weak little beta men who submit to any whim of the woman provides. Like, women do submit to a strong man, a confident man, a man who, like, hacks and slashes his way through the world, like to the top of the corporate ladder or just in whatever position he wants to be in. Like everyone knows what the alpha male is, the Chad out there, the guy that literally dominates physically and mentally, like the leader in every group. Women are drawn to men like that. Uh, because of those men, you have to understand they're always the ones who are successful, and women respect strong men, especially when they're physically strong. Even other men respect strong men if you can dig it. So like she's totally wrong in that assumption that she makes. Like, well, no, women don't respect men who are physical, and I say actually you do. But Kelly continues and she goes on to state like no, that was the old way. Men who carved their paths through life using physical strength. That was the old way. And that's the way we're trying to replace, is what she states. And the feminine is, setting the standard, and these physical men, these alphas, these chads, they need to learn to submit via the how does she say it? The resensitization process. I apologize for butchering that. The resensitization process, she calls it, where men need to learn to be more sensitive. They need to learn to connect to humanity in order to nourish themselves. How else can they protect and provide for humanity? She asks. Like, if not for their, sensitivity, their understanding of the needs of the community, like, I totally, you lost me there. Like, that sounds like communism in the fact that it sounds good in theory, but like in the real world, it just does not work. Like, these soft, sensitive, like liberal men are gonna carve the path into the future. Like, yeah, it just as a man, as a married man, I don't see it. I'm sure there's a lot of men who are, really questioning what she's trying to state there. But like, lastly, to get, to finish off her video, she goes on to tell women, stop being caring, like stop being so nurturing and codependent. Stop putting the needs of others above yourself. And like she's telling women, like literally go against your feminine nature. But then again, she does mention reciprocity, and I understand that. That's kind of the foundation of a relationship, of any relationship. There's give and take. uh, Honestly, I think that's the only real part of the video I actually kind of understood and agreed with. But to sum everything up, guys, I apologize, we're kind of dragging on here. um like, she talks about the patriarchy, about dismantling it, about this new order, this new age of men who are going to come into existence, these sensitive, in touch with their spirituality and humanity and whatnot. Um, yeah, I think kind of that's what she was getting at in this video. Yeah, but as a married man, yeah, I'd never tell a woman to let her man fail to teach him a lesson, or try to reshape him into something else. Like, you can't make a man or mold a man into something you want him to be. There's always going to be backlash, and God knows I would never tell a woman to forego her feminine nature and only give it when there's something in it for her. So as a married man, I found this video really confusing. Yeah, I won't lie. Like the advice she's giving is the type of advice, like, I wouldn't advise anyone to accept that sort of advice. Like, it seems more like a pipe dream than it does as anything really practical, you know? But I'll leave things off by just stating the few things I did take from this video. Yes, Kelly was correct that women do not respect weak men. Like, I repeat, women do not respect weak men. They respect strong men. And yes, that does mean physically strong. Women, like men who carve their own path through life, who are physically dominant, because, you know, those of us in the manosphere, us red pill type guys, like, we understand those physically dominant men are often the top tier men out there, you know. These guys who dominate at life, they're the core about what the red pill's all about. They're the antithesis of kind of what Kelly was talking about in her, you know, new generation of men. And it's like, it's hard to take her seriously when she talks about, you know, these sensitive beta guys that are gonna, you know, shed the patriarchy and transition into, you know, a new breed of man. And I think that's why I was so confused, why a lot of people were confused. Um, it's kind of hard to understand, you know, like men transitioning to be more in touch with humanity, like to be softer and gentler and more liberal in their mindset. And like it's really confusing when you factor all that in because it just doesn't seem realistic, you know? But like that's my take on it. For those of you who are listening, like let me know what you guys think. Like let me know what you took from this video, and you know, let me leave me some thoughts on what you thought of Kelly's advice here. Like I admit, like I was confused, and I did have to watch this video a few times before I kind of pieced together what Kelly was trying to get at. But you know, as a married man, I will say there is truth that she speaks, you know, but there's a lot of you know, confusion, and you see that in the comments. And but I just want to know everyone's thoughts who stuck with me long enough, you know, to listen to this. And, you know, leave me your thoughts in the comments, everybody. Let me know what you thought of Kelly's video of, you know, her take on the patriarchy and her advice to women here to let men fall. But just hit me up if you have questions or concerns or criticisms, if you have ideas for new videos. My email is as a married man at outlook.com. You know, hit me up, guys. I'm always open to hear what you got to say. And of course, you know, give me a like and a sub. Definitely subscribe to my channel, guys. You know, that keeps me going. But that's about all I got for today, everyone. I appreciate you if you're still here listening. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys think of this video. But make sure you hit up Kelly as well. You know, check out her channel. And, you know, give her some thoughts as well, what you think. But that's all I got for today, guys. Once again, I appreciate you all. I want to thank you for listening, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Bye for now, guys.